America is in shock tonight. A deadly migrant massacre on Florida's highways has left 3 innocent citizens gone forever. Their lives stolen because an illegal immigrant truck driver, armed with a California commercial driver's license that he really should never have been given, decided to make a reckless U-turn across 3 lanes of traffic. Families shattered in just seconds. And here's the real outrage here, guys. This isn't just about one crash. This is the direct result of years of fatal errors, reckless border policies, state governments handing out privileges to those who broke our laws to begin with, and a federal system that has put politics before people. And now, President Donald J. Trump, he's had enough. He is storming Washington, D.C. to crack down on these failures once and for all. But wait until you hear the details, because this story doesn't stop in Florida. Oh no, don't get it twisted here. From California's role in enabling the driver to D.C. elites trying to shift blame and the shocking revelations about how illegal immigrants they're still slipping through the deadly loopholes. Oh, it's all coming to light, folks. And here's the question that you got to ask before this video is over. Who do you hold accountable for all this? The reckless driver? California for licensing him? Gavin Newsom for the protocols? Or the open border policies that allowed him to stay here in the first place? Well, I'm going to be uncovering everything today. So definitely this information, I'm just going to warn you right now, will leave you stunned. And you're going to see exactly why President Trump's crackdown in DC is not just political, it is patriotic, it's compassionate, and it's about saving lives. Every dollar you overspend on Medicare, this is a dollar that you cannot use to enjoy your grandkids or to help them when they need you, okay? So this is why I partnered with Chapter. They fight to protect your savings because the rules are changing. And you need to take advantage. You need to get in on the best plan before the window closes. Sharon Bertusik, she thought she was out of options after being kicked off of Medicaid, but Chapter got her plan with 0 premiums, 0 medication costs, and the copays dropped from $89 to $20. Jamie in Texas saved $600 a year. These are real people who acted before it was too late, and thankfully they're now in a better position to be able to help their grandkids if they need their help. So do not leave your family with worry. Give our friends a call right now. Phone number is down below on your screen, 909-563-8279, or visit them on the web. Link is down below at askchapter.org/Ron. So America is reeling right now. Families are grieving, and citizens across the country, they're asking the same question. How in the world did this happen? And who will finally stop it? Because let's be clear, guys. This was no ordinary accident. This was a migrant massacre on Florida's highways. 3 innocent Floridians gone forever because of one reckless act by a driver who never should have been behind the wheel of a semi-truck in the United States in the first place. Should never even been in the United States. So here's the truth. This isn't just about one tragic crash. This is about a chain of fatal errors made by politicians, by bureaucrats, and by a system that has prioritized open borders and political games over the lives of real Americans. This is exactly why President Donald J. Trump is storming DC today. Not for optics, not for politics, but to launch a full-scale crackdown so that tragedies like this one never happen again. So now let's break down exactly what happened in Florida. Now, authorities have already identified the driver as Singh, a 28-year-old Indian national who was in the country illegally. On Florida's Turnpike, Singh made a reckless U-turn across 3 lanes of traffic in a spot that was reserved only for official use. Does that even sound legal to you? A minivan had no chance to stop. It slammed directly into the trailer of his semi-truck. Guys, you know how big and heavy those semi-trucks are on the road? Well, in seconds, 3 Floridians, 3 families were crushed, their lives destroyed. Now, this is not just about Singh's decision in that very moment. This is about the system that put him in the position to begin with. And here's the tension that every American has to wrestle with right now. Should Singh, the driver of the semi-truck, alone be blamed for this tragedy, or does the real responsibility lie with those who licensed him, who protected him, and who allowed him to remain in the United States? And last I checked, he just got out on bond. Because one thing is certain, if the system had worked, those 3 Floridians would still be alive today. And so that leads us to the very next chapter that we need to talk about, guys. Singh's illegal immigration background. Like, how did he even enter into the United States? How was he released on bond? And how this particular decision became one of the most deadly errors under Trump's microscope. And so, friends, guys, let me pause right here and just ask you something very important, okay? Because the story in Florida isn't just about one reckless driver. It's really about years of missing pieces in America's leadership. Think back for a second, okay? What is the biggest thing that you feel America lost over the years? Was it safety on your own streets? Was it trust in your government? Or maybe it was just that simple sense of pride that you used to feel in being American. Now, look at where we are today. What's the one thing you see right now that's still holding strong? Is it the spirit of ordinary Americans who keep showing up, paying their taxes, raising their kids, even while Washington lets you down? Is it leaders like Trump who actually fight for you instead of bowing down to elites? Like, that's the virtue in the middle of all this chaos, guys. It's the proof that America's backbone hasn't completely snapped, no matter how hard the left tries. And then, of course, ask yourself this, like, what do you want the future to look like? Serious question. What do you want the future to look like, folks? Because when I read your comments, guys, you want a country where the law actually means something again. Am I correct? Where politicians serve you instead of serving the globalists, where your kids inherit freedom and not fear. That's the vision. That's the America First vision, guys. So I want you to do me a favor. Drop it in the comments down below right now. What's the missing piece that you've seen in America's past? What's the strength that you still see standing tall today? And what's the vision that you're holding for the future? I want to hear from you guys, because the elites, they might not care what you think, but I do, okay? And more importantly, President Trump does. So here's really what's making this whole tragedy even more infuriating. Singh, the driver of the semi-truck, didn't just appear out of nowhere on Florida's highways, guys. His story goes years back, all the way back to September 2018, in fact. He entered the United States illegally through the Mexico border. Within 2 days, he was arrested. But instead of being deported, he claimed he was afraid to return to his home country, and for just $5,000 in bond, Singh was released. Now think about that for a second, okay? A man who had no legal right to even be here, who broke our immigration laws from the beginning, he was cut loose back into the system. That so-called mercy became a fatal error that set the stage for everything that we're seeing today. And so here's the question. Here's the question every American must answer who's watching this show right now. Was that decision compassion, or was it reckless negligence? Because when compassion for lawbreakers costs 3 innocent Floridians their lives, I don't think that's compassion, guys. That sounds like betrayal to me. But it gets even worse here, because even after his release, Singh didn't just hide in the shadows. He went to California, a state that prides itself on defying federal immigration law, and he was handed a commercial driver's license. So not just like a regular driver's license where he can just, where he only has permission to drive a car. California's DMV gave an illegal migrant the keys to operate massive 18-wheeler semi-trucks. Can you believe this, guys? And yes, that's the same license that Singh was using when he made his reckless U-turn in Florida and ended the lives of 3 people who were living in Florida. Guys, the White House response rapid team, guys, the rapid response team has already called us out. The Department of Homeland Security did not mince words either. They called it asinine governance, because what kind of government issues CDLs to illegal migrants and then pretends that they're shocked when disaster follows? But California's Governor Gavin Newsom, his office tried to deflect. His team rushed to point out that Singh entered the United States during President Trump's first term, before Newsom himself took office. That's not leadership, guys. That's finger pointing while America and American families bury the dead. So the real question is this: was California simply enabling danger, or are they now trying to shift the blame while the blood is on their hands? And friends, this is really where the true fight begins, because Florida is not staying silent. The Attorney General is demanding accountability, and the Trump administration is moving back. They're moving to back them up with the real reform here. So Florida is absolutely furious. Their leaders are saying what every American is already thinking: this never should have happened, right? Guys, this never should have happened, right? Florida's Attorney General did not hold back. She blasted California for enabling Singh not just to drive, but to drive big rigs capable of causing mass destruction on our highways. She said flat out that this tragedy is proof of the danger created by years of open border policies under Biden and Obama. And now Floridians are looking to President Trump for action, and they're getting it. Because unlike the finger pointing in California, Florida is demanding accountability. Their message is simple: protect our citizens first. And President Trump has their back. So now let's take this to Washington, D.C., because this is really where the battle lines are being drawn. Critics in the media, they're already trying to twist the narrative. They're comparing Trump's decision to bring National Guard units into D.C. to authoritarian regimes in places like Serbia. They want you to believe that this is all about the optics. But here's the reality. It's about security. Trump supporters, they know the truth. This is a patriotic move here. It's a smart move. It's a move rooted in compassion for the American people. And after tragedies like the Florida crash, the last thing we need is weakness in our nation's capital. What we need is strength. What we need is order. And what we need is a president willing to put the safety of Americans above the complaints of the DC elites. So I got to ask you this. Is Trump being heavy-handed, or is he the only leader with the courage to secure America while lives are on the line? And friends, we both know the answer. Because while others are whining about authoritarian optics, families in Florida are grieving. While critics are crying about optics, Americans are crying over coffins. And President Trump is standing tall. He's storming DC, and he's demanding a crackdown on the fatal errors that made this tragedy possible. So here's where everything changes. President Trump isn't just talking about the Florida tragedy, he's acting. And that's the difference, guys. Trump has ordered a full review of state licensing loopholes, starting with California. No more commercial licenses for illegal immigrants. No more pretending that giving lawbreakers legal privileges keeps anyone any safer. Those days are over. And he's also pushing for federal state cooperation on immigration detainers. This means when ICE says someone shouldn't be on U.S. or American soil, no governor, no state DMV, no sanctuary policy will get to look the other way. The law will be enforced, period. And Trump is reasserting a policy of zero tolerance for reckless illegal migrant behavior, because while the left calls it compassion, Americans see the reality. It is deadly negligence. Trump has drawn the line in the sand. Never again will a group of politicians and their political games put American families in the crosshairs. But here's the part that's really showing his heart, okay? President Trump is speaking directly to the families of the Florida victims. He's not hiding behind talking points. He's promising justice. He's promising reform. He's promising that their loved ones will not have died in vain. That's not politics, guys. That's deeper than that. So let's zoom out just for a second, okay? Because this crash in Florida isn't just about one migrant or one license or one crash. This is a symptom of a bigger disease. For years, America has been forced to live with weak enforcement and reckless governance. This is why we've seen tragedies pile up. This is why families are left vulnerable. And so now the choice is clear. Like on the one side, you have reckless policies that led directly to 3 Floridians losing their lives. On the other side, you have a president who is storming DC to put an end to it. So here's the ultimate situation here that I really want you to think hard about, okay? Will America continue to tolerate the deadly mistakes of the past, or will we finally stand behind a president who is determined to protect innocent lives at all costs? So 3 innocent Floridians are gone. A reckless U-turn by an illegal migrant truck driver turned a highway into a graveyard. And the truth is, it wasn't just Singh's mistake. It was the chain of fatal errors, from broken immigration policies to California's reckless licensing to years of open border negligence that made all of this whole massacre even possible. But now, President Donald J. Trump is storming Washington, D.C., not in panic, but in strength. He's exposing the failures. He's cracking down on the loopholes, and he's standing with the victims' families in true patriotic compassion. This migrant massacre is a turning point, folks. Question is, who do you hold responsible for it? Is it Singh? Is it California? Is it Gavin Newsom? Or the failed policies of the past? Drop your answer in the comments down below, guys. I read every single one of them. And before you go, YouTube believes you're really going to enjoy the next video that just popped up on your screen. It dives even deeper into the fight to protect America, and it connects directly to everything that we've been talking about today. So click it right now, because I promise you, This is the one you do not want to miss. Trump's crackdown is only the beginning. So let's keep this conversation going. Let's watch that video right now. I'll see you on the other side.